Welcome, it's Frances here. Thank you for coming back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I bid thee welcome. There is a subscribe button below if you would like to help support this channel by subscribing, and also a bell to be notified as to when I upload more content. I'm coming to you from Ghana country, and as such, I acknowledge the Ghana people of the Adelaide Plains as being the traditional custodians of this land. So we have a new moon coming up. It will be in the astrological sign of Cancer on the 6th of July here in Adelaide, South Australia at 8:27 a.m. And depending on where you are in the world, this could actually be on the 5th of July. So you would need to check out your locations. In Cancer, it will be 14 degrees, 23 minutes, and you may have already been aware that it's actually going to be sandwiched between two full moons that are in the astrological sign of Capricorn, which is the sea goat. So the last full moon in June was around about 1 degree of Capricorn, and then this month on the 21st, we will have the later full moon in Capricorn, which will be right at the end of the sign at 29 degrees. And one of the astrologers that I refer to when I sort of compile all of this is Pam Gregory, and she seems to indicate that this July full moon, one that's coming up on the 21st, depending on where you are in the world, is going to be rather intense due to other cosmic happenings that are going on at the moment, which are also affecting this new moon as well. So as I say in all my other sort of astrological updates, I'm not an astrologer. Please check out the astrologers I refer to, which are listed below. So some of these other cosmic happenings that we have, which are going to sort of play out, especially from this new moon onwards, is that we have Saturn moving stationary retrograde at 90 degrees of Pisces, and it'll be doing what's actually done that on the 29th of June. So when you've got a planet that is beginning to station, which sort of means that it's changing direction, especially from our place on the place on the Earth, when we look up to these planets, this means that their energy is somewhat intensified. So if you have a copy of your natal chart or your birth chart, and there are plenty of resources on the internet to obtain that if you know your time, date, and place of birth, or you may need to go to an astrologer, look to see where you have 7 degrees up to 22 degrees of the mutable signs. So the mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, because Saturn is stationing retrograde in Pisces, because this is where you may very well find or feel this energy for the next couple of months, really activating these particular places in your birth chart. It's a bit of a reality check. Saturn's all about reality checks. So focus on breathing, do a bit of breath work, but meditation to help you sort of soldier through and work steadily through what will be arising during this time. When planets are retrograde, they tend to also be a little bit closer to the Earth, which is why we feel their symbolism a little bit more intensely. And Saturn will be going through Pisces until February 2026. So this is a lot about dissolving, especially densities, about gravity, the heaviness of the physical body. Pam Gregory seems to think that we're sort of moving into a light body or rising our consciousness. People have different interpretations of these terms. And also with Saturn retrograding in Pisces, it could actually be pulling the covers back around specific issues, especially with Neptune being amplified further, or amplifying these points a little bit further, because it's also in Pisces. It's also stationing retrograde, and will be doing this on the 2nd of July, although it's right at the end of Pisces at 29 degrees 55 minutes. But it'll be staying that point, the end point, the energetic point, for the next couple of months. So again, to sort of highlight, if you're feeling overwhelmed a little bit and sort of emotionally intense, get out your birth chart, your natal chart, and look to see where you have these points. especially in relation to Neptune, around 28 degrees of the mutable signs, and also moving into, say, 0 degrees of the cardinal signs. Now, the cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, because you could very well feel this Neptune transit there. And as I mentioned, the mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And it could be whatever will be revealed during these transits could be dissolving, like dissolving the old. There could be ingredients of what is sort of unfolding, especially if we throw Pluto into the mix. Pluto's entering its final retrograde into Capricorn. We're doing that on the 2nd of September. It will stay there until the 19th of November. And then it will come to the end of its 248-year cycle, and it won't be in Capricorn again for another 240 years. So that means it will fully move into Aquarius. It's sort of been dancing between these points for the last year or so. So this is sort of like the background energetics to this new moon on the 5th or the 6th of July here in Adelaide. As I said, it's on the 6th of July at 14 degrees, 23 minutes of Cancer. And when we have a new moon, that means when the sun and the moon are conjunct, are right next to each other. So the sun is also at that same point of 14 degrees, 23 minutes of Cancer. So Cancer is the crab, and the moon is its home sign. So it has very sort of like loving, nurturing energy. It's all about maternal love, about the sort of the classic or the archetypal mother-child relationship, which is quite interesting considering my recent video that I put out the other week was about the controversy that's come to light over the replacement of a mother and child statue in Chalice-Vale Gardens in England. Very interesting. Cancer is also about love that we have for our friends, our family, even our country. And another astrologer, Donna Stalholm, as she points out, it speaks to the bigger picture as to why we do things, especially when we care or we love things. So it's important to sort of like ask ourselves why we are doing things, especially as the moon is approaching this trine with Saturn that I've just mentioned, which is currently stationing retrograde. And Saturn is also in a sextile to Mars. So what this gobbledygook means is that a trine is where a planet is approximately 120 degrees of another that's in its same element. Cancer is water, and Saturn is in Pisces, and Pisces is also water, and the other water sign is Scorpio. Saturn is in its sextile, so that is 60 degrees or half a trine to Mars. Mars will be in Taurus, or is in Taurus, so it's an earth sign. So what all this sort of means is that we get the plan, we get the action as to why things are to be done, but the emphasis is there on us to be taking those steps in order to achieve that desired end result. It's none of this waiting for the universe to simply manifest things for you. You need to actually do the hard work, take action. So coming back to this new moon in Cancer, it's about what you love, what you deeply care about, which is Cancer. That needs you to create some sort of structure or plan, which is Saturn, that you will then need to implement, to take action on, which is Mars. So priorities might need to be set or massaged to fit this in, and also the realization that in order to get these things done, other things that may be on your to-do list need to be sacrificed. And I'm sort of looking at it with the workshops and the events that I've got planned for the next, well, basically till the end of the year, and the amount of preparation I'm going to have to do to present all these things. So we'll get there. We'll see what happens there. Okay, now this is something that's completely different. So this is something that Pam Gregory has brought in, is that the moon is actually also going to be conjunct Sirius, which some astrologers, including Pam Gregory, considers to be our spiritual sun. And it's 23 times brighter than our own sun. And of course, it is the star that the ancient Egyptians associated with Sobek or Sothis, which is the Greek version of the name, and is believed to be a combination of Isis, the goddess, and Anubis, who's also connected with the underworld. And this link is about discovering and expressing your unique essence and authenticity, as well as sort of achieving higher frequency information. So it's a time to sort of open yourself up. Maybe you're into manifesting, maybe undertake a meditation first as to what sort of divine messages from spirit guides, guardian angels, higher consciousness, whatever you align with, is wanting to come through for you to set these goals. And don't forget, these are goals that you will need to take action on. So again, get out your birth chart, look to see where 14 degrees, 23 minutes of Cancer is in your chart, what house it's in, and whether there are any planets or points. So Cancer is also a cardinal sign, meaning it's one of four, the other being Aries, Libra, and Capricorn. And these all herald in the changing seasons. So it's about innovation, trying new things. Cancer is cardinal water, as I mentioned. It's about emotions and intuition, how we feel nurtured, this home, this family aspect to it as well. It is also about empathy, the strong need for the home, to have the security around us as to what we refer home to be. It might not necessarily be a physical building. It's where you feel safe, where you can retreat in order to escape the external world. And some of us may not realize that we do not have a safe place. I hope you do. And if you don't, it's about trying to establish one for you, for your own self, because there are intense emotions that could be experienced at this time, and this moon is sort of asking us to stop and consider what we're feeling on the inside. Allow those emotions to sort of rise, especially if we're not feeling safe. Why we're not feeling safe? What do we call home? Now, home could be your favorite shop or coffee shop, or it could be a bookshop, or it could be you're walking in a park, or it could be at a friend's house. As I said, it might not be your physical, what we normally refer to as home. So if you are also a new moon manifestor, make sure that you are in alignment with what you want to create or step into or move into. And as I mentioned, allow yourself to open up and trust your intuition, even your psychic or intuitive abilities a little bit more. There is another sort of important transit that's taking place on the 8th of July, and that will be Mars coming in conjunct at 21 degrees 49 minutes of Taurus. And this is the point that we had Jupiter-Uranus conjunction earlier this year in the 20th of April, which started off this new cycle of Uranus and Jupiter that's going to last for the next 14 or 15, so 13 or 14 years, meaning that Mars is reactivating this point. And it's said to sort of it will be a jump in consciousness, like a sort of awakening, a sort of an expansion of things coming to light. Even like the realization of things, the veils dropping even further, the opening up of our awareness beyond our own egocentricity, thinking a bit more externally beyond ourselves. And Pam Gregory makes another interesting point that Mars will be conjunct Uranus exactly at 26 degrees Taurus, which could result in eruptive, explosive, combustible energies. There could be a focus on seismic earthquakes, upheavals. There may even be political earthquakes. And it's quite interesting because the UK have an election coming up on the 4th of July. What's going to be the result of that? So again, look at your chart to see if you've got planets or points between 24 degrees and 28 degrees of Taurus, or the fixed sides, again, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius. Because you may feel agitated and restless in these areas. So it's going to be an interesting new moon. Breathe. So go within, find your safe space, find your happy place, create one if you don't have one. I tend to don't personally manifest on new moons. I tend to these days sort of work more with just aligning myself with the energies and being a bit more observant as to how I integrate with the world around me, but then that's just me. So that's a little bit of an update for this upcoming new moon. If I do go back and read any comments, if you've got comments, please put them below. And happy new moon in Cancer. Blessing.